What city? What is that going on?
What is that noise? Anyone hear
No.
that? It's like the
Yeah, I
okay,
don't
take
know,
this
man.
off. I can't stand that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Eagles Uncensored working through some bugs right now. It's all good though. We gotta get Castro in here too. Where's he
My
at?
bad,
Yeah,
guys.
I was about
Where's PPTP?
He's coming. Oh,
I want to switch that. I want to switch that screen up for a minute.
Oh,
Oh.
click. There we go. Ooh.
my
Eagles
bad, guys.
Uncensored.
I apologize right now.
Welcome to his channel.
Why am I leading? Why am I leading right now? Hey, mine, mate.
Lindy, it's your channel. Take over.
Well, I guess it's temporarily.
Hey,
So,
Lindy's changed his name to Eagles Uncensored, everybody.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, hey.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, what's going on, everybody? Eagles Uncensored here, just working through some quick
This
bugs.
is crazy. I apologize, guys.
There you go.
Seriously. Anyway. All right, so let's get this shit started. What's up, everyone? This is AK Eagles, and you're watching the Eagles Uncensored podcast. Please take the time to like and subscribe to the channel, and thank you, and God bless. I just want to thank all you guys real quick for all your love and support. Seriously, like, it's been amazing the last couple of days getting my tweets out there for me and stuff. Just the support that you have in the Eagles community is just ridiculous, seriously. And I just want to thank you guys for being here with me, because you guys are truly the ones that have, made this possible and made me want to do this. So thank you. Seriously.
No big
Hey,
deal.
man, it's an honor to be on your first live stream, your first ever content dropping on YouTube. So hey, we're very. I know I could speak for the other guys too. We're very much honored to be on here with you, and we'll be here. We'll be here by your side along the way. And there's going to be many more live streams to come. So yeah, good adjustment on your camera there. A little more light on your face. That's good. I like that.
Thank you.
All right. And
There we go.
I just gotta
Trust me,
say,
you don't want to see this too much anyway, man.
yeah, and I just gotta say this right here, and I'm telling you, Uncensored, I'm telling you this right now. You're one of the smartest people I've met in the Eagles community. Like, if you see my Twitter feed, it's like so asinine. People are tweeting me like Carson Wentz should come back. I'm like, what is going on here? Like, you're one of the brightest people I know in this community. You're gonna kill it, and if you need help with anything, I'm here. I helped you with the thumbnail. Just saying, I'm here for you.
Yes, sir. I know. Thank you. Seriously. And Lindy, me and you go back from Joe, and his Discord, and then we did the stream, the second day of the draft, and that's how we met. So I appreciate you being here, bud. Seriously.
Yeah, man. It's just a matter of returning the favor. It's all it is. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta. It's like y'all gotta remember where you came from, your beginnings and everything, and that's just you gotta keep that in the back of your mind, man. Don't forget where you came from, and make sure that the support is shared throughout everybody else. That's what it
For
is.
sure. And also, Big Play Slay, Jordy, Birdman, all you guys, Nightings, thank you for coming in. Seriously. Thanks for the support as well. You guys have been active on my Twitter, giving me thumbs up and fire emojis and all that. So, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, it's gonna be lots more to come, man.
For sure. So, I just want to start this off because, most of us know each other for the most part, Mitch and Lindy at least, Philly, this is the first time talking to you, man, and thank you, seriously, for being here. It means a lot.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure, man. Anything I can do to help you out, like Mitch said, just DM me. You have my number now, so we'll be in contact, definitely. Uncle Phil Hill's always here for you, brother, so yeah, you just reach out.
I got you, buddy. All right, so one thing I want to know about y'all real quick because we haven't really got to talk is like what made you guys Eagle fans? Was it a player? Was it family? Was it just the jerseys, the colors? You like Eagles? What like? Talk to me.
Who wants to tackle that first? Mitch, go ahead.
I'll just go. I started because my whole family are Eagles fans. I just got right into it, and I will never forget this game. I was at my uncle's house watching the Eagles versus Dallas, and whenever Dallas touched the ball, like whenever it's their possession, you could hear the boos from my uncle, my cousin, my father, whenever they touched the freaking ball. And that's the first thing I noticed about football. And I'm like, okay, I hate Dallas. I'll take that. I'll take that. And that got me into football, I swear to God.
I think for me, it's a combination of things. But first and foremost, the way I fell in love with the drive of, this like it was the Rocky movies, and it developed from there. It was a combination of things growing up. Like I said, the Rocky movies, back the Boys to Men, obviously another that's a big musical influence. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Just over and over again, it was brought in front of me. The city of Philadelphia, and I fell in love with that brotherly love thing, and just the drive and the passion of the fans, and when I looked around, I seen nothing like it around. So when I was a young teenager, I was in it. I had one of those starter, the old school pullover starter jackets with the Eagles over the pocket in the front. But yeah, I've been rocking it since back in the '90s. So yeah, let's go, guys. What's up, Philly? How you doing, brother?
How you guys doing?
Castro came in chilling on what looks like
right? He's ready to roll.
Like a casino.
No Manscaped in the background. No Manscaped.
Yo, Joe, seriously, real quick, man.
Oh my God.
Before Lindy goes with his.
There's the Manscaped.
I love it.
No, seriously.
Seriously
though, guys. In all honesty, Joe, I wanted to tell you too. Thank you so much, man. You were the main reason that this all started. I originally started by watching you, man. So thank you so much. You really inspired me to do this, and I appreciate it.
That means a lot, man. Yeah, hey, I'm glad to be on your first live stream. I told you when you were ready to do it, I would be here. So I like to be a man of my word. So let's do this. I'm a little late to the party, but I'm ready to party. Let's do it.
Better late than never.
Even though you're a Brooklyn Nets fan, but
hey, you're here, man. That's all that matters,
This man's came in here vibing with the matching snapback and the shirt and everything. He's just chilled.
At least he's
you got to come in styling though. I'll give you that. You got to style it. You got to style it.
It's Saturday, man. You got to vibe.
Yeah, no.
At least he's not a Dallas Mavericks fan. That's for sure.
That's my second team, bro. That actually, ow.
Uncensored even got Philly Mike in the building. Shout out to the Philly Talk podcast coming in here. Yes, sir.
Yeah. He was on my round table last week. So
there you go.
Mike.
Definitely. Philly Mike, that's good, man. Thank you for showing up.
What up? Man, my fandom was basically a family inheritance.
Andy, yeah.
Yeah, my fandom was a family inheritance. I grew up, I grew up just, not really forced into the Eagles, but just inheriting the fandom from my dad. He was a big, and he still is a big Eagles fan. Just growing up watching games with him, whether it was football or NASCAR, I remember stuff like that. And for me, it just carried on from there. But it's the same thing when Foothills talked about, like, the aura that surrounds the the fandom of the Eagles, like being in, when you get that feeling when you're in the city of brotherly love, how much the team means to the community of Philadelphia on the good side of Pennsylvania. We're on the good side of Pennsylvania. I'll bring that out. The east side, the good side. But yeah, man, no, it just stemmed from there. But as y'all know, unfortunately, I'm not a Sixers fan anymore. But we'll leave that for another day. But yeah, man.
I'm just saying, when they win the championship, when the Sixers win the championship this year, I don't want you to come back on the bandwagon. I'm just saying that right now.
Luka, my guy. Luka's my guy, man.
Hey,
Hey,
for that.
We'll see if Joel Embiid makes it to the Eastern Conference Finals before you're talking championships. Let's make sure we make it past this round. That's all I gotta say.
Shout out to Birdman. Birdman's in the house. Birdman _951. Definitely, he's a West Coast brethren. Have to give him a shout out. Holding it down in Cali just like me.
You already know.
and guys, I just have to say this: subscribe to this guy, like it. You already have 7 likes already, and we started like what 5 minutes ago, 5:10.
Right.
So hey, power to you, dude. You're at 17 subs already. I remember when I started, it took me like 3 weeks to hit 10.
Yeah. Hey, it's all because of you guys, man. It's all because of you. Seriously, like, pat yourselves on the back. Y'all helped me, so I appreciate it. Like I said, much love, man. Seriously,
it's much like the football team on the field. It's a team effort. So hey, we're all in it together. We got to pay it forward. My channel has been doing very, very well, and it's because of people like you. AK Eagles. It's because of people like you, people like Big Play Slay, people like Mitch Kofsky, people like Lindy. It's a team effort. We're all in this together. We've all worked together for the most part now, and it's gonna get easier and easier for you, and you're gonna enjoy this thing because it's a great outlet to communicate with others and to get out your frustrations in the fandom and things like that, and your emotions, and it's a fun ride, man. So get ready, put your sneakers on.
That's how it works, y'all. I mean, how could I make the analogy here? We've come up through each other's support. That's the most important thing to remember. It's like we're all stemming from the same tree right now, and we're responsible. We're responsible in a certain right to not only keep up with our channels, but we're trying to maintain everybody else here, because everybody's getting a piece of the pie, and that's just how it works, dude.
And I'm hungry.
I just had lunch. I just had a veggie burger. I'm fine.
I think Joe just had some recreational time, if y'all know what I mean.
Nah, you talking about pie and stuff. I'm hungry now.
All right, so what's the first topic, man? What's the first topic? Let's get this rolling.
So I want to know something else. Like, the one thing I haven't really heard anybody talk about, here over the last couple weeks is, these injuries that we've had the last 3 years. Like, is this a curse? Like, I'm starting to believe it's a curse. But are we over weightlifting and under resting? Is it nutrition? Is it what is it, man? Like, and is the new coaching staff the is it the Is it the thing we need to make everybody get healthy again, if you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I just think it's more so a lack of maintaining a consistent system with the medical and conditional staff. If we remember, after the Super Bowl year, said staff, they all got fired, and I think most of them were carryovers from Chip Kelly's staff, and I guess how it was is that they just didn't want to keep them around anymore. That's I don't know. I haven't looked too far into it, but I mean, as far as I know, yeah, they removed them after the Super Bowl year, and then you know, every year after that, it's been a different group and a different group, and you know, whether it's different opinions or regimens or you know, like you know, workout stuff for that matter. It's like just like we ask the football team to develop some kind of camaraderie and chemistry, and you know, with that kind of conditioning, it the same goes for the conditioning and medical staff in here, because you know you're trying to figure out these players as people and how their bodies work, and if you keep bringing in different people, it's not a it's not a good system to build off of. So yeah, we just need to find consistency everywhere. But are you asking for perfection? Maybe, maybe not. But I think that's the most important thing to worry about.
Right.
Thanks.
And
Yeah,
I
I mean,
just
go ahead, Mitch.
I just gotta say this, Lindy. How many times have you and I been like in a stream or something? Because I swear you always take the words right out of my mouth, like almost every time.
I don't know.
It's all started with JC Horn.
I must have a crystal ball hiding in my closet back there. I don't know. I'll have to check.
I'm just saying, like almost every time. Oh, that's it. I'm good.
Yeah, so I mean, what I was gonna say was, you know,
He can
I
read
don't.
minds. He just ain't telling no one.
Yeah, Lindy in your head. But what I was gonna say was, you know, Infamous 2K made a very good point. You know, in his comment about the former coaching staff letting some of these players dictate whether they were gonna, you know, making the call on whether they were good or not to play. And I think that had a lot to do with the injuries piling up. Also, you know, I think it had to do with preparation. It had to do with, you know, the way they were conditioning their bodies, in the approach that they took to that. You know, I think there was a lot of lackadaisicalness going around the organization, especially last year, from what I saw, and you know, just some weird things were going around with the training staff and the medical staff and things like that. You know, I mean, how long was freaking Jordan Howard day to day? He was like day to day for like the last like 6 or 7 weeks of the season or something like that. It was just like, that's just a prime example of just some of the weird shit that's been going on with this staff, with the former staff. And I'm glad that that's all kind of be wiped clean now. And let's knock on wood, keep our fingers crossed that we're not jinxed and it's not bad luck. I mean, what do you think, Castro?
Yeah, no, I think there wasn't enough accountability on a lot of different areas. Infamous said it kind of. I agree with what Lindy said and what Infamous said. Lindy, I agree with you that we went through, I think, 3 different staffs since 2017, because we're now getting a new staff, a guy that was hired last year, but apparently all he does is watch. So, I mean, this is uncensored, so I guess we accept anything, right? You know, hey, if that's your thing, go right ahead and watch. But he didn't do anything last year, so this year we'll see if he changes.
Oh no! You can say whatever you want, bro. Seriously.
Yeah. But realistically, like I feel like this year, even with that happening, I feel like the coaching staff was either too lax or they rushed these guys. Like it wasn't. Sometimes you don't let the players choose. Sometimes you do, but you have to understand you went to school for this as a medical professional, paid to do that. You went to school for this, so I understand Deshaun Jackson being a 30-year-old man and having his own say. I understand Lane Johnson. I understand all these guys being grown-ass men and having their own say. But there has to be a point that you come in and say no. You know, there has to be that point that you're just like, no. You know, like, and something that happened just the other day with AD, his trainer came out and was basically saying that he doesn't get them ready. He doesn't get them healthy. He gets them healthy enough to play the game. Mm-hmm. And that was a lot of the same that we saw with the Eagles. And it's like, whether it's people coming back, getting injured right again, or coming back not playing the same, not looking the same, it was a consistent thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping that with Nick Sirianni, this energy will match or maybe simulate the gameplay a little bit more than what Doug Peterson did. You know, shout out to Haagen-Dazs. I like Haagen-Dazs, but maybe we shouldn't be giving the players ice cream every day after practice. Maybe that's not the best health move. You know, like maybe we need to be a little bit smarter on that end. I understand we want to be a community and a family as far as our team and our organization goes, But at the end of the day, you still are a business. It still is a franchise. It still is a sport. You get paid to play, and there's other ways of making people enjoy being at work than maybe being a little bit relaxed on rules when it comes to health. So I think that we took the wrong avenue in that sense. So I'm hoping that this new staff, especially with the competition thing, like if you know that you're going to play Sunday no matter what, you're probably not taking, Monday through Thursday that serious, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're every day is a competition, I'm hoping that simulates the gameplay a little bit more, gets them a little bit more game ready. And now that we're younger, I'm hoping that helps as well. Because, we can't ignore the fact that we were literally just signing 28-year-olds that came off of Achilles injury. So it's like, and we were about to go and do it again with Malik Hooker, which I wouldn't have mind getting him for cheap, but like that would have just been what we've been doing for the past 3 or 4 years. So I'm glad that we went in different directions in that sense. So hopefully, because I think those were the main things. It was the medical staff not really being together for more than a year, if that. And then you look at the coaching staff, and then you look at the players that you sign. You can't continuously sign unhealthy players and think, you know what I'm saying, that they're just going to magically become healthy. So I think it's a mixture of all of what you guys were saying. So, yeah, I hope it changes. It has to change. If it does, I'm blaming it all on Doug Peterson. I've decided that about a year ago. Like, if somebody else comes in here and our team can stay healthy, it's Doug Peterson's fault. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, LaRaven Clark follows in the same scenario with older player with an injury. He is, coincidentally 28 years old, coming off an Achilles injury, playing as an offensive lineman. So we have to figure out where he is as far.
But I will say with him, at least we're not looking at him as a starter.
Yeah,
that's
true.
The thing, like we were going out and it worked with people like Patrick Robinson. It worked with people like Jay Ajayi, who's like an African rapper now, which is like, hey, he makes vibe music. I don't know why I know this, but anyways, he makes like music now. But anyways, it worked with some people, but for the most part, it doesn't really work for us. So I'm not mad at a backup, but we were looking at, and I bring up Malik Hooker. I think that he was a good player, and I think that he would have added something to this team if healthy, but I think if you go and do that at a starting position, because we would have went and got Malik Hooker, and it would have been with the mindset that he's most likely going to start aside of Rodney McLeod. So I think that the Anthony Harris move said something, because he's at least been out there for the past. So it made me a little bit more or less worried, I should say. But there is definitely, even with the Landon Dickerson pick, that was kind of a like, we're probably the last team that needs to take a chance on an injury prone or injury riddled, however you want to look at it, offensive lineman. So, there was goods, there was bads this offseason so far, I guess.
And Landon's still not signed yet. That's what's shocking.
He didn't sign. I think he just signed.
I thought he did today. Or
I don't know. I didn't hear anything yet.
I know it was waiting on Jacoby and Landon, but I thought Landon signed. But I know Jacoby just had a baby.
Yeah, I haven't heard.
So
he's away.
Probably just is waiting.
Yeah. When it comes down to it, for me, I think it's. I also think that there is almost like a night and day change when we're, when we're watching these guys practice and everything. When we look at how sometimes Doug Peterson used to organize practices and everything, and a lot of it felt, a lot of it just didn't feel natural. It felt scripted. It was like the guinea pig or the hamster on the wheel. But with Sirianni, he's trying to. I guess it's a mentality of trying to make these players feel at home, that we're all here for a similar goal. As long as you put in, as long as you put the work in, then things are gonna go smoothly. Like, he's making it. There's a lot of it that he's making it strictly, making it strictly about football, and it's like it's the right atmosphere to start off as a rookie head coach. And I think we're on a good track right now.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. And You guys had
No,
to.
we definitely know. And you know, because you're talking about Doug and them, I actually have a question for you guys. You know, is there anything from this old coaching staff that you'll miss? Like anything at all?
Deuce Staley.
That's a good question.
Deuce.
I mean, will I miss Deuce Staley as
Like
a
I know
person?
what mine is. I can tell
Yes.
you right now. I definitely know what mine is.
I don't think I'll really miss anything if I'm being honest.
I just said
I
Deuce
don't
because
think
he
I
was
will.
a former Eagle. That whole thing.
Yeah, no, I mean I'll miss him as a person, but as far as like this team, we were 4-11-1, and we made the playoffs in 3 years, but it wasn't pretty. I mean, realistically, we won a Super Bowl, but everything else other than that, I'm good. I won't miss a single thing, to be honest. I'm glad that we finally are on to a new chapter. This had to happen probably 2 years ago, if we're being 100% honest. This probably needed to happen right after the Super Bowl year. You know, we were trying to push these older guys back. We were trying to push contracts back, trying to just add little random pieces to make a Super Bowl run again.
Right.
Our window closed. It's time, you know, especially with Carson still had a window, but the rest of our team didn't. So it was kind of like you were trying to add little pieces to try and extend that window, and it put you in cap misery, and it put you with a lot of holes to fill. So now we're young, and now it's time to turn it around. So I don't think that the old staff would have done that. They didn't seem to want to teach kids or teach the new generation, with the exception of some people. But the only person that we really lost that I could say made an impact was Deuce Staley. And realistically, Deuce Staley towards the end of it wasn't really. I mean, I think they were just at a point just giving him titles. To be honest, I didn't feel like he did anything. Like he really, if you're an assistant running back coach and we don't run the football, and you're an assistant head coach as well, and you have no say in us not running the football, what are you doing? You're just telling who's going out first, like. You know what I mean? Like, what were you really doing? So I love Deuce Staley, and I don't mean it in no type of slight, but I don't miss any of these guys. I think it was time for everybody to move on that did move on. And honestly, they could have took Howie with them. That was the last piece. That was the last person I would have been cool with seeing go. But, thank you for the Super Bowl. I appreciate it, and I always, have love for them for that. But miss is a strong word. Miss means I might want them to come back. And there's not a single person that has left that I would take back. Not even Deuce. I love you, Deuce, but you left us to go take the same damn role with the Detroit Lions. I'm good, bro. I'm good. Like, we get it. You didn't think you were gonna have a chance here. Go ahead, do your thing. You deserve a chance, but none of them need to come back.
Yeah, there was too many points. There was too many points during that regime where it was hard to watch and feel that there was a lack of personal investment at positions on the coaching staff, where it's like we're thinking to ourselves, what do these guys that are working for this football team, like, do these guys have a common goal? Like really, everybody, it's like almost everybody was out there for personal gains, and we've had too many butting heads. Nobody was really on the same page. Promotions that didn't make sense. Adding positions that didn't make sense, between how many different kind of assistants that Doug Peterson had last year. Offensive coordinators that shouldn't have been coordinators because Doug Peterson was the overall play caller, stuff like that. You can't expect that kind of positive success in that kind of a flawed system. It just didn't work. It didn't feel right. But now it seems everybody everybody has their role. They're doing it to the best of their ability, and they're succeeding they're succeeding pretty well so far, but they got a lot to prove. I mean, we got first time coaches and guys taking promotions right now, but they're all in good graces. They're all in good positions. Everybody's got a chip on their shoulder. Having common goals, is very important when it comes to the success of a football team. So I think we now have a better nucleus, and that can only push us forward to better seasons.
I mean, and if I can put my 2 cents in, what I would say is kind of like Castro said. I'm not going to miss a whole lot of people from that coaching staff. There's not a whole lot of people that really stepped up and really brought their position or brought their coaching to another level. So, and like he said, no disrespect to Deuce, but he really didn't. He got to a point in his coaching career where I don't know. It seemed like the progression kind of stopped, and I didn't see a whole lot more growth out of him. And I think that's what Joe was trying to say. That to me, really, if I could tell you, it definitely, if Jeff Stoutland would have left, that definitely would have been my answer. Obviously, because he is the absolutely best offensive line coach in this league. And I may be biased when I say that, but I like for another content creator or somebody to bring an argument, because ain't nobody messed with my boy Stout. But I really don't. Eagles, to answer your question, dude.
No, not at all.
I really don't miss any of these guys. I think it's lagging a little bit.
Internet issues at the moment.
No problem.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you everybody in the chat who has already liked and subscribed
this country living, man.
Eagles Uncensored. We really, really appreciate it. Let's see if we can get him to 100. Before the end of the month. Let's make that a goal. Let's see if we can do that. So
that's very possible. Very possible.
Hell yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna put the word out there, and we'll get it. We'll get it done.
Does anyone still hear like?
Yep. Now that clicking just stopped. Whoever did something made that clicking stop.
Yeah.
And I think it was. I think it's AK.
I took one like that and it stopped. So.
Yep. Yeah, dude, my stuff's all messed up at the moment.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
That's what it is. Xfinity.
It's a clear day out. There's no clouds in the sky, but you know what? My internet's being stupid, so.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It definitely is what it is.
Oh, yeah, not a problem, dude. Not at all.
Up. So, what's your expectations for the year? Seriously.
Low. My expectations are low.
Where's this team going?
I just want to see
us head?
I just want to see them better. That's really all. That's where I'm at right now. I just want to see the Eagles get better. I don't care about like wins or losses. I mean, if we win a bunch of games, that's awesome. But I'm not really too invested in the wins and losses of it. I just want to see us get better, like from game to game, see a progression, figure out who's going to be our starters going forward. Just answer some questions this year. That's really where I'm at.
Lindy?
Well, I mean, we can talk about whether it's high or low expectations, and when people say low expectations, that doesn't necessarily have to be taken as a negative. Just like Castro just got done talking about. Like I think the most important thing that we want to look for here is development and growth, camaraderie, chemistry with these players on the field. But that's not to say at the same time that we shouldn't expect to win football games. It's just going to take some of those teams to playing some of those teams to catch them off guard. Whether it's us having a better roster than them or the other way around. Sometimes rosters only take you so far, but it's really outsmarting your opponent. But we definitely have the capability of doing that. So long as we maintain, so long as we maintain a system in which Jalen Hurts is playing with the same players on the field, just like number 2 with the Colts, like what he had to deal with the last couple of years, guys coming on and off the field due to injury, or bringing up practice squad players for certain games and having to fight for the division title and stuff like that. They weren't ideal situations. So we just have to make sure. I think the biggest goal here, aside from seeing improvement, is the football team staying healthy in general. And I think once they do that, it's going to set them up better for the future going forward.
Yeah, I agree. It's got to be the health. That's the only thing that scares me. And with Travion Grimes and that whole thing, it's just, are we going to go down the same path? That's the one thing I'm scared of, along with the cornerback. That's another situation. Zach Ertz, that's another situation. But for the health, that's the number one priority for me for coming through for this season. And my expectations for them, I was on another YouTuber's content last night, JC Eagles Talk, and we were just talking about expectations, and I had them going 8-9 wins. And now I'm like, there's still too many question marks in my head. There's still too many question marks. I feel like 8 or 9 is a reach for me after thinking about it.
I mean, my expectations are right around there. If we can double the win total from last year in a 17 game season, that's gonna show definitely a improvement in the right direction. I'm not expecting, like Joe said, if we can win a bunch of games and make a playoff run, then great. But I'm definitely not expecting that year one for sure.
No. Yeah. Shout out to Joey Sates. I see you in the chat there.
Yes, thank you, Joey, for joining the live stream. We appreciate it. Get our guy initiated into this community.
Yeah, I was up playing Destiny 2 with him till at least like 4:35 in the morning. I couldn't sleep.
Oh, you were playing with them?
Yeah, I was playing with Joey on Destiny 2. Yeah,
Oh,
we
nice.
we were streaming and everything, man. We were on a grind. I was not tired. I could not sleep. So
yeah, him and I are gonna play Fortnite sometime soon. But
does Joey Shakes ever sleep? Jeez, he's up at all hours all the time, man. Dang.
You got it, man. Got to get that grind. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
For me, sleep is just like number one. As soon as your head hits that pillow, no better feeling. I'm just saying that. Like, everything's safe. Just go to sleep.
Sleep's important. Definitely. Gotta have it.
There you
go.
Eagles
is gone.
All right.
AK Eagles left the building.
Yeah.
I feel them now. My internet was trash. I don't know what's been happening lately that's been actually working, but my internet used to cut out all the time. When I would do shows with Brandon, it would just literally cut out in the middle of it. He would just be like,
yeah.
But now we just get used to it. So my shit cuts out every other 5 minutes. I don't know why. You gotta love it though.
This man's was trashing Xfinity earlier too, and that's what I'm working with now. I'm working with Xfinity.
I have
I hate Xfinity. You work for Xfinity? You said you work for Xfinity?
No, I thought Castro thought you said you work for Xfinity, Mitch. I don't. Yeah, no.
No.
I have
Xfinity. I have it. No.
I hate Xfinity.
Yeah, I got that 800 megabits plan, so I'm actually, my internet actually works faster than what I purchased. I just run an Ethernet cable into the laptop. It's been pretty good, man. I got no complaints from them.
Yeah, remember when we went live? You went out like 2 times.
What was that?
We all go through our growing pains at the beginning. It takes a little while to iron them out. It's
believe me, I know.
Process.
I know.
Dude, yeah, y'all can go back to the beginning of my channel. I had no idea where I wanted to base my background on in my apartment until I have a permanent setup. Now I was working off of a laptop's camera, bad. It was pixelated, and yeah, it was just it was not ideal, dude. But you know, it's all a part of the growth. It's
Yeah.
You just have to feel for everybody when they're trying to bring up their channel, man. But I mean, I guess we gotta continue this on. We gotta let this carry on for our guy Eagles Uncensored here.
Right, we gotta at least let him do a.
So let us support him here, fellas. So did anybody seem to catch the press conference that Nick Sirianni had? I think it was yesterday. Getting to talk about some of the some of the players a little more in depth. I think he went a little more in depth with Jalen Hurts. He talked about Devontae Smith again. Did anybody seem to catch that press conference?
I saw like some quotes from it, but I didn't watch the whole thing yet. I mean, I feel like no matter what, people are gonna like hate on this dude. I'll say this: he's either gonna be like the most loved coach in Eagles history with all this like, swag that he wears to practice and everything, and all these quotes that he drops, or he's gonna be the most memed Philadelphia Eagles head coach of all time because he is setting himself up. But I hope that he's great, and I think he will be good. But man, he's not quiet. He's not shy. He's not that guy that was stuttering in the first couple couple minutes of the press conference. He got energy. So I'm excited for him. I like the guy.
He had energy for rock, paper, scissors.
He's got, I mean, that's the thing though. He's got so many little weird quotes that he said from like he lost a 3-point contest to one of the players. I forgot who. Like,
because he was late to the press conference because he was in a 3-point contest with Greg Ward and he ended up losing. That's hilarious.
Hey, Greg Ward.
Like, that stuff is cool. Don't get me wrong. That stuff is cool. Like as a person that's going to work, because at the end of the day, it is still work, right? You're going to work and knowing that you have a cool boss, that probably makes it a little bit better, but doesn't make you win. Like you know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing. He's either going to be the most loved dude in Philly for a while, like we've got our next Andy, or people are going to kill that man. And I will feel so bad.
I think the message that he tries to spread in that regard is that, outside of having that kind of professional occupation where, and we got to admit, like, some people in this world, they don't necessarily respect professional sports because, they feel that these guys are robotic and they don't have souls and they don't have hearts, and they get paid all this money and they got this kind of privilege and that kind of privilege because of the contracts that they get. But no, Sirianni is trying to bring an approach here that like it's okay to be human sometimes outside of that aspect of like a professional sport. And it's a good message to show to some of these fans like the kind of like those kind of connections that he is that he's developing with his players. It is important, but I get what you're saying. Like, does that help you at the end of the day? Does that translate to wins on the football field? Like, that's the top topic of discussion, and I get that part, but it's just him. I think it's just him being natural, in both categories of like his role for this organization.
Down for a minute. I don't know what the hell happened. Seriously, everything just went haywire. So I apologize.
It's all good, man. We carrying this on for you, man. We got this. It's all good. We got to keep the channel going. You already at 18 subscribers, man. You only need 2.
Yeah, I'm really upset, dude, because I feel like I can't even. No, I'm serious, dude. Like I feel like I can't even conversate with you guys. It's so bad.
Well, now you're caught up, so I use that time because now you're caught up finally.
Yeah, yeah, it's all good though. It's all good. What else? I had something else I wanted to bring up, and I can't remember it now. It was a good one. Mitch talking about Trevon Grimes, like, yeah, let's since he had this knee surgery and everything, and everybody's afraid about injuries so far. Can this help in allowing some people to pump the brakes on this kid? He went undrafted for a reason. Let's not act like he's going to be like one of the top 4 receivers in the rotation on this roster. Like, can we calm down now about that? It's just, I don't know.
I feel like you hate this guy.
Talking about Grimes.
What's the problem with Grimes? I don't understand. I understand. We did this with Paul Turner. We've done this with Jason Avant, even if you want to say with him.
He wasn't really overhyped.
Top tier guy. We hype the people that are consistent, like that look like they can be consistent for us. That, we like to go for the underdog. I feel like that's who he is. I'd rather people be hyping Trayvon Grimes than Jamon Osborne. I like Jamon Osborne, but I think that would be more of a reach. Trayvon Grimes, if he did not have that surgery, he would have been drafted. Like, he would have been drafted. There's no doubt in my mind. Like, if that makes sense now, finding out that he had that surgery, why he didn't get drafted. But it might have been the 5th, it might have been the 6th, it might have been the 7th, but Trayvon Grimes should have been drafted. Same thing with Jamie Newman. I mean, Jamie Newman, opting out is really what killed his draft stock. At one point, I want to say last year, like a year and a half ago, he was looked at maybe a late first rounder to a second, third rounder as far as Jamie Newman. So, it happens. People's stock drop, but I think Trayvon Grimes is not somebody. Do I think he'll be a world beater? No. But I think there's reason to be a little bit excited for somebody like that. I definitely think he was a steal. So I think in that aspect or retrospect or aspect or whatever the word is, I think I understand being hype about him because I think he has skills. Now, the thing that gets scary is how removed is he from that surgery? Because realistically, all we heard was that he had a surgery. It was his knee. It was minor. All right, that's the end of the article. Like that, there was really no context or explanation to it. It was just kind of, this is what happened, and did you hear about this? Like, it wasn't really. I don't know.
So what do you got? If it comes down between him and between Grimes and say somebody like a John Hightower, where do we go?
With the best player. I mean, I don't know. I know just as much about somebody like a John Hightower, and even though he played last year, this team sucked last year. So I don't really know what yes, last year I will say when I did see him play, I felt like he ran good routes. I felt like the one thing that he really, really had to get better at was catch point. Getting stronger at the catch point and helping his quarterback a lot. A lot of times he didn't like to run back to the ball. But other than that, I mean, I didn't learn anything about that guy. I saw all that in college. And realistically, he wasn't playing good, cornerbacks or anything. It wasn't like he was out there doing it consistently. But he wasn't catching the ball. So do I know much about him? No. Do I know enough to be like, he should definitely beat out Trayvon Grimes? No. So I feel like everybody is at the same level. You know what I'm saying? Trayvon Grimes, the hype, I think, is just basically he should have been drafted. He should not have been an undrafted free agent. I think now that we're looking back, it's because of that injury, but or that surgery. But I think there's reason to be hyped there. I think that people should be, maybe not overly. I'm not saying he's going to be a starter or he's going to be the savior for this team, but
yeah,
he's better than Paul Turner.
You know why?
He's better than Paul Turner.
That's where I'm coming from, man.
Paul Turner was like 5'11". Paul Turner was like 5'11", and we gave that man $1 million to chill on the practice squad. I mean, he's better than that.
You know why I'm excited for Grimes? I'm just going to say this right now because I actually have to get off in like 5 minutes. But Grimes is better than Whiteside already. So I'm just telling you, if he doesn't play, I think he will. I think Grimes will play. Does that mean Whiteside will take a step up and go into the playing? Will he actually make a spot with Grimes out? Because I don't want that. I don't think any of us want that, honestly. No matter if he's tight end or wide receiver, nobody will want that.
I mean, well, with the mindset of he was undrafted, right, for a reason. People, we said that was said. So let's use that same mentality with somebody that was drafted in the second round. If he can go out there and prove that you were drafted in the second round for a reason, then he does deserve that spot. No matter how much I hate him, I do not, I'm not a fan of J-Jaw in any way. I haven't used an umbrella in a rainstorm and I don't know how many, years since he's come to the team. But realistically, like, I'm not a fan of the guy, but if he plays well, I want you to play. Like, I want you to prove me wrong. I don't want you to suck. I don't want nobody on this team to suck, but you've proven that you might suck. So,
Hey, just so you guys know, I got this shit fixed, so I'm good to go. Sorry about everything. I apologize.
I'm just
Seriously.
saying. It looks
That
good.
was crazy,
I like that.
dude.
Just like
I
the
have
live stream
no-
of your face. I love that.
I
looks
have
like a
no
floating head.
idea what
Yeah,
happened.
thank you.
Like, yeah, I have no idea what happened, dude. No lie. Like, everything just started going flickery and off. And I don't know. I have no idea.
It'll work out, man. Don't
I
worry.
just gotta say something before I head out. I gotta get a haircut and I'll be right back on if you guys are still on. But real quick to the people in the chat, I'm just gonna tell you what happened to me this past couple days because I'm just telling you because you gotta trust nobody online. I'm telling you because as you grow, people are gonna want to bring you down. People are gonna want to get under your skin. I'm just letting you know it's realistic. You don't see this on YouTube. You see this behind the scenes. So this one guy actually catfished this guy I used to work with, and he found out everything about me. So you just got to be careful about these people, and you got to be careful about who you talk to. Like, for example, like another Philly content creator or something who's trying to like leech off of you or clout chase, as they want to call it. And you just got to be careful because your trust can be taken away like that. Like, you got to keep an open mind and be like, okay, this guy needs help. Should I help him in a way, then stop? Or should I just let him go and be himself? So I'm just telling you guys, just be careful on who you meet online. That's all I got to say. All right?
Yep.
Hey, and Mitch, real quick before you go, bud, I just want to thank you again, dude, for everything you've done.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
been a pleasure meeting you, man. And honestly,
I
you
should be
became
back
a really
on.
good friend off scene,
Oh,
and
yeah.
just, I appreciate it, man. Seriously.
I got to get a haircut because it's not cutting it anymore. I got to go to the barber. I'm just telling you. So I'll
Bro,
be
I'm
back on.
wearing a hat for a reason, okay? Like, if
I'm
I
gonna-
took this off, there's peacock hair under here. Like, no lie.
Come on now. I am the original bald eagle. Come on now. I ain't got to worry
There you
about that.
go. There you go.
I'm just saying, if you guys are still on by like the time I get back, I'm popping back in and we're still continuing this. I'm just saying that.
For sure.
Yep.
For sure.
All right, guys. Catch you later. MK out. Fly, Eagles, fly.
All right, good deal.
Right on.
For the record, I'm taking Hightower over Grimes right now. I'll just throw that out there.
I mean, we don't know what either. Have you seen them play? I haven't seen them play. Once I see it, I want preseason. I want preseason because that's what we're supposed to do now. We're supposed to let competition.
I'm still under the opinion and impression that Hightower was not used right last year, and it was a combination. It was a combination of both the quarterback not helping him and vice versa. Like that entire team suffered in general, and I back this up because I mean we've watched it between some of the tape for the Eagles and then some of the tape when John was playing for Boise State, but Jason Avant is a guy where when he speaks I listen, and he was a part of that coaching staff. He was an assistant to Aaron Moorhead, and he flat out came out and said that he believed John Hightower was the best route runner on that football team last year, and I believe that. So I mean, these guys gotta. I just think that they're some of these guys are going to get a chance here, and yeah, man, I don't know. John Hightower to me has there's untapped potential in him, and he wasn't used right last year. So, but yeah, man, I don't know. I'm taking Hightower over Grimes at the moment.
Well, since I know where you stand, Joe and Uncle Foothill's here. Who's going to be better, Hightower or Watkins?
I think Quez.
Quez?
I think Quez.
Yeah,
Quez is a
I do
dog.
too. Yeah, I mean, Quez has that more explosiveness, and I think that Sirianni and Steichen are going to be able to plug him in certain packages, certain situations where he's going to be able to utilize that a lot more than. And I just think to me he has that. I don't know. Some players jump off the screen, and Quez is one of those players to me. He is. It
Yeah,
just.
I just feel like John Hightower kind of came off like soft at the point of catch, and that's a big problem for me. That that's
yeah.
I understand that you can improve a lot of things. If he wasn't a great route runner and he was great at the point of catch, I would feel more comfortable. I think you can. It just takes a mental. It's a mental toughness, especially when you're probably going to be asked to go outside. You're probably going to be asked to go over the middle. I just don't necessarily trust him yet. And that point of catch thing is a very big thing for me. So that's why I take Quez. I think Quez is one of those guys that puts his hands out and takes the ball out of the air. And not only that, once the ball's in his hands, I think it's all bets off. That boy he's a punt returner whenever he's got the ball in his hands. You know what I'm saying? He's going to cut through deep.
Yeah.
And we talk about people not getting chances. He got no chance. He was hurt most of the year or just not playing. So, and when we did see him out there, I think we saw the flashes of what he could be. So I like Quez, and I've seen some of the work that Quez is putting in this offseason. He looks ready. So I think Quez is going to be that guy. I think he'll shock some people. I wasn't thinking this. I'm not going to lie. And then Philly 500 came on the channel and was like, oh, Quez, watch Quez. And I kind of reworked, I rewatched everything. I kind of went back to the games that he was playing, went back to his college tape, and I saw it. And then I, ended up, his trainer follows me on Instagram. So I ended up looking through all his training videos. And I'm like, okay, this kid's out here busting his butt. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's going to surprise some people. I don't know if I'm as high on him as 500 is. I think he said he's going to be that number 2 guy, but I think he's going to definitely make an impact on this team if he's healthy. So I'm excited for him. I'm very excited for him. But John Hightower is cool too. I don't hate John Hightower. I just, that if you when you put your hands up, I don't want you to go like this. And he's one of those guys to me. He's one of those guys that he just he puts his hands up, but then he's like this and he gets, I don't know. He's just nervous at the point of catch, and that makes me nervous because.
So you want a Calvin Johnson type player then? All meat hands, go up, grab that shit.
No, I don't even. I just don't want you being afraid. If you look at how Devontae Smith catches the ball, it's straight. He attacks the ball. I just don't see that with John Hightower at all. I see, and I don't want to say he backs up from the ball, but there was so many times. There was an interception, I want to say against Washington, where he kind of backed up. He didn't it was a bad throw. It was a bad, decision. He shouldn't have threw that ball, but if he steps up a little bit, he could probably bat it down. He just doesn't have that.
You mean the one in the Giants game where he stopped running his route towards the end zone and Bradbury?
Well, it might have been that one. Then, yeah, it might have been that one because I saw it a couple times with him. It's just once you're there, I feel like he's just all right. One of those I'm going to sit in the zone type guys. And even if it's man, you know what I'm saying? You gotta make yourself open. This is the NFL. You're not in
you have to remember something though too, bro. Rager did that against Green Bay. He didn't go after it. He swatted it away.
Say again?
I said Rager, he swatted it away. He didn't go up for it during that Green Bay game there at the end zone.
I'll take at least go for the ball. If you don't think you can catch it, don't let the other team catch it. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be that. It's got to click in your head at some point. And I think he does have talent. Like I said, I just think that's a very hard thing to teach. I think that's a football instinct. I think that's a wide receiver thing. You either know, let me cut my route off and come back to the ball a little bit, or you don't. And he's not the only guy. I seen it with Travis Fulgham a couple times. I've seen it with Jalen Rager a couple times. And you can blame it on the quarterback. You can blame it on the offensive line. You can blame it on the wide receiver himself. You can blame it on the coach. Somebody at some point has to stop the factory line and say, okay, they're blitzing us. Let's not run a 9 route. Let's not run a straight, all go. Let's maybe, have a couple hot routes. And that just wasn't happening last year. And I think that's between the wide receiver and the quarterback. So it goes beyond just John Hightower. So, I'm not just hating on John.
No. I mean, Hurts has a lot to do with that too, man. Because, the way I look at it is like, you have to have that connection between the quarterback and the wide receiver. You have to. It's got to be there. You just can't go out and play street ball in the NFL and expect it to work. It's not going to happen. These guys are too smart for them. But what I really, really like about Jalen Hurts, though, is that he throws the ball away. He's not afraid to live to see another day. And honestly, I haven't seen that since Michael Vick. Michael Vick used to throw the ball away, especially when nothing was there. We haven't had that luxury with Carson Wentz, unfortunately.
I'll give you that.
Goes to the other team usually.
But that's what makes his play better, I feel, though. Like he uses smart decisions. He fundamentally plays the game very well, which will help him in the long run, and which will further help his wide receivers as well. The less mistakes he makes, the less they'll make.
See that this is I'm not going to this is my thing with Hightower, and I'll give you those points, Castro, but there's a difference between errors with the receiver, with his game in general, and having distrust in your quarterback. For how sporadic Carson was over that year, I have to imagine that there was points where John felt that at this point in the game, for as inconsistent my quarterback was, where should I expect the football here? I mean, depending on the routes that he's running, and I get that feeling of not being necessarily aggressive enough at the catch point, and stuff like that, and he's going to work on that. But the biggest difference going into this year is that he's going to work with a quarterback that we feel is going to be more consistent in Carson, that he's taking his craft more seriously, that he wants to improve with the players that's around him right now. There was too much. There was too much of a sporadic and inconsistent performance where that's I think that's the biggest thing you have to consider, is that how much on the same page is the quarterback and the receiver when the receiver is running a route, where he's expecting the football. Does he know at that point in time if there's rushers in the quarterback's face, and there's a lot of small intricacies in there, and I think that's one of the bigger effects that impacted Hightower negatively outside of his game, was just having a bit of a distrust in the quarterback.
Well, if you don't trust your quarterback, you don't need to be able to say, I mean, wide receiver, you run the route and you find the ball. That is your job. He didn't do that well last year. He ran routes well, I'll give him that. But everybody on this team had the same problem, because everybody on this team had the same quarterbacks. So it is what it is. And it's everybody went through the same thing. We'll see who this offseason affects the most, because there's going to be winners and losers of this offseason. Some people look great in practice. Some people look, great in games and look terrible in practice. So, well, I mean, we'll see. Everybody has a shot. Everybody definitely has a shot. Somebody's going to be wrong, right? Like, I think everybody thinks somebody else is going to start, because part of me still thinks Travis Fulgham's going to go in there and take that number 2 spot, and part of me thinks he might not even make the damn team. So it's like, who knows who's going to make this team? Like, it's a very interesting battle. It really is. It really is. I mean, the biggest knock that I've heard on Travis Fulgham is his work ethic. And if you don't have a good I can't talk. If you don't have a good work ethic with somebody like Nick Sirianni, I just don't see that flying. But I feel like he has all the talent that he needs to be that number 2. Somebody's gonna shock the hell out of me.
We just had the Heisman Trophy winner come in, who was only the 3rd ever wide receiver to win the Heisman Trophy. So, and we know very much so about his work ethic, and we've heard high praises about that. So, if you're gonna let a rookie come in and outshine you when it comes to your work ethic, you better step it up. It's definitely time to step your game up. But I think when it comes to John Hightower, and not just him, but all the receivers, they all have to, work on that attacking the ball at the, at the high point. They just have to be very, very. They have to go at it aggressively. And the way some of my coaches used to teach me, because I used to be a tight end in high school. They used to teach me, no matter how hard, and then this helps too with quarterbacks who throw the ball, who got some zip on it. You have to really imagine, you have to pretend that ball is metal and your hands are a magnet, and that way you're expecting metal, and you catch a football, right? So it's two things. It's that it's a mental thing, like Joe said. So it's just something that they'll work on, and hopefully, especially with younger guys like Hightower, that they improve on, because with, like you said, with his route running ability, if he can get better at what we're talking about, then he's going to be a legitimate receiver for us going forward.
I will say I do like the first
sure.
like the first team reps so far with the combination of Smith, Rager, and Greg Ward. I think that's a nice combination there. I'll just point that out with them getting first team reps as a trio, because I think they were working Ward in the slot while Smith and Rager were on the outside. That's a nice combo right there. I like that trio.
Yeah, if Rager can go out, if he can play the outside, that'll add even more versatility. I mean, it'll be interesting. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, like I said, the wide receiver position's either going to make us all very happy, or just we're going to be depressed again for another year. Like, there's really no in between for me right now.
If Smith can get Rager's footwork to where his is, that would be excellent. Like, if he could just help him with running routes and get him to where he is, and we could have two Devontae Smiths, that'd be awesome. Like, no lie.
Yeah, right. That would be nice. That would be very nice.
It would. Yeah, I mean, if he can get even close to where the route running ability of Devontae, then we'll be good. Because I don't know. We've seen Rieger outside, somewhat. Obviously, last year he was dealing with the injuries and things like that too. But I like the idea of him being in the slot too. I mean, what do you guys think?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's his spot. I think slot is where he should be right now.
To be honest, I think he's going to be splitting the reps with Gainwell. I think Gainwell is going to play a lot in the slot, to be honest.
He might.
Because he can catch. He definitely can catch. I mean, if you look at his highlights and stuff, he kind of played wide receiver a lot as well. He's not just going to be in the backfield. He's going to be lined up out there. I have a feeling, at least. You can draw up some crazy plays with him out there, so I would expect that.
Yeah, and Miles and Carry On, they all could catch. So
right,
I mean, we got nothing but options. You got a bunch of nice little X's, Nick Sirianni. It'll be very fun to see what you're gonna do with them. I want to see how that stop motion gonna look with those playbooks, because I can't wait. I can't wait for Madden. I can't wait to see what our playbook looking like.
I mean, some people criticize Miles about his hands and things like that, but a lot of that. Yeah, he did have a few drops last year, but some of that had to do with ball placement, things like that too. So it wasn't all on him. A lot of the times he was getting the ball thrown at his feet, things like that. So, it is what it is.
Big facts. Yeah, because Carson was doo-doo.
Yeah. Facts.
Well, and that's something else. What do you guys think about Jamie Newman? Like, what's he going to bring to this team?
I want to go.
Lindy, go ahead.
Yeah, whoever wants to.
Well, I mean, there's not a whole lot of expectations really to go about for Jamie Newman coming in as undrafted, but the potential is definitely there. I think the most important thing to consider is that Jamie and Jalen Hurts resemble each other pretty well, and that's one important factor that we can keep in mind with this is that if Jalen is going to end up like missing time or missing snaps on the field, and this is a scenario where Joe Flacco is not on the team. If we're thinking down the road, like if we're thinking next year, and this is all to be determined. But in a scenario where if Jalen's not on the field, your offense isn't going to necessarily miss a beat, because Jamie Newman, he has that skill set like in a similar vein to Jalen, where necessarily needs to change to mesh with the quarterback that's under center. Like, there's a pretty big difference between Jalen Hurts and Joe Flacco. Athleticism wise, throwing the football, you're going to have to get some different concepts in there for them. But with Jamie Newman here, you can keep things relatively the same, and I think that's a important thing to consider here moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, and don't listen to some of these clowns out there. Like I ran across some guys on Facebook who were responding to some of my posts about it was my Cannon Win post about talking about Jalen and Donovan, but they were saying that just because Flacco makes more money than Hurts it does right now, that he's going to start over him. I'm like, are you serious? You think Joe Flacco is going to beat out Jalen Hurts? Come on now, get real.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jamie Newman's is good. I like Jamie Newman. Like I said, he was supposed to be he was supposed to be at the very worst a day 2 pick. Before he opted out, and everybody kind of like hated on him after that. I don't know why he did it. I think it's stupid that he opted out, but he opted out. So
going into last year, he was projected. If I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, but going into last year, he was projected in the top 10, and then even like in the top 5 of the quarterback class. I think going into
he was one of the better quarterbacks. He was supposed to go to the new school and ball out in the SEC, and he decided not to. So I mean, I don't know how or who told him that was the smart way to go, but that's what he decided. Now he's on the Eagles. So I mean, there's talent there. I think he has a huge chip on his shoulders. If all works out, he probably won't be here in a couple of years. He'll probably be one of those trade pieces that we love to, groom and get rid of. So I think that's what the ultimate goal is from him, is to have, somebody competent in that quarterback room and just maybe have some trade asset down the road. But other than that, I don't see him really making a push like for the roster or anything this year. But who knows? Maybe he does. I wouldn't be mad. I like the kid. Got a little swag to him.
Hey, I think Flacco needs to worry about him more than beating out Jalen Hurts. That's for sure. I think he needs to worry about Jamie Newman taking his spot. So.
Well, and that was going to be my next question here for you guys. It's like, all right, say Jamie Newman comes out here next month and he just lights it up, just like Hurts does. Do you even see, if something would happen to Hurts, do you even see Joe Flacco at that time? No. Especially if they think that Newman could run the offense. That way you wouldn't be able to switch the offense. You could just plug and go,
I think it comes down to like what Lindy said. Like if you want to, especially as a young coach, as coaching staff, if you're like 5 or 6, 7 games into the season and your offense knows your playbook and you can kind of keep it the same if Jalen goes down and have Jamie in there, even if you don't think it's necessarily talent-wise, like if you're saying, Joe Flacco and Jamie are about the same, maybe Joe's a little bit better this year, which I can understand. He's the veteran. It is what it is. But if you can maybe give up a little bit of talent just so that the rest of your team knows what they're supposed to do and you don't have to change everything in a week, I think that gives Jamie Newman a little bit of a slight nod. But, he's going to have to go out there and really prove it. I mean, it is what it is. Like, Joe Flacco he's not Joe Flacco that was in that one, playoff run that he was out there balling, but he's not trash. Like, he's not absolute trash. So he's not going to just go out there and roll over. Yeah, he's not going to go out there and roll over. I think he's made that very clear. So, if he might not beat out Jalen, but I doubt that he's going to sit there and be like, nah, yeah, it's cool. Let Jamie go. He's the young one. Like, let him go play. He's going to want to play. So I don't think it'll be an easy decision, but I think it's a decision. Like, I agree with Lindy on that part. I think you got to kind of keep your offense as similar as possible and give your guys a chance.
Yeah. Because the NFL is complicated enough as it is. So the easier you can transition your offense to God forbid, but to the next quarterback, to the next man up, the better. To me, in my eyes, definitely, it makes it that much easier when, like Joe said, when you're game planning, when you're going into that next game, as soon as basically you're done with that last game that you just played, and you got to transition a big position like that. It makes it a lot easier to have someone of similar playing style. Definitely.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
for sure.
one of the only things, obviously, at this point that that Joe Flacco has on both Jalen Hurts and Jamie Newman is his ability to identify more defensive coverages in the NFL. That's one of the only things that he's better at doing, and that's only going to take him so far because he doesn't have the athletic profile anymore to be able to avoid sacks or escape the pocket and do things that he has to extend plays if the if the protection breaks down. I mean, so yeah, that's a plus for him. But in a league that's becoming younger and more athletic, and some of these kids out of college are even becoming smarter, and especially when we talk about some SEC programs where we have three guys on our team from Alabama, especially. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's just really the only upper hand that Flacco has is that veteran pedigree of being around the league and seeing different defenses and knowing how to diagnose them. But when he's under center, then or like as opposed to like some guy like Jamie Newman or Jalen Hurts, if they can't identify the defense, then yeah, it's going to be easier on their part to be able to rush the quarterback. But yeah, no, from an athletic standpoint, yeah, that's going to handicap Flacco in this offense.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. I really do. And leading off of that, like because of the players and everything, what do you guys think of the new coaching staff? Like no lie, because I know Nick gets a lot of shit for the rock paper scissors and all that and stuttering during his first press conference, but I just want all these other teams to realize something. If you lose to us, you just lost to a stuttering Stanley rock paper scissor playing coach. Like, so you need to rethink your strategy a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna give us shit for rock paper scissors and then you lose to him, like fuck you at that point. You feel me?
I mean, we don't really miss on a lot of coaches. Like even small successes. I mean, Doug Peterson was a failure in a lot of people's eyes, and we won a Super Bowl off that. Chip Kelly was a failure in almost everybody's eyes, but realistically, we won games every year he was here. So It's not like we were absolute garbage. I mean, we picked decent coaches. It's about now we need to find that next Andy Reid type guy is going to be here for a long time. We don't know who this guy is. We didn't know who Andy was. We didn't know who Doug was. We didn't know, we never know who the heck these coaches are. That's just who the Eagles pick. That's the type of guy they pick.
Yeah, we seem to get lucky a lot.
I mean, I don't even want to say it's lucky. I think maybe once or twice it's lucky, but once you do it consistently, I mean, I kind of trust you. Like, I think, coaches, even Chip Kelly was not a terrible coach. He was a terrible GM.
No. He was an excellent talent evaluator.
He was a very good talent, but he was a terrible GM. That's where obviously I didn't like his defense, but he was not a bad coach. He was a good coach. Bad coaches don't go 10-6.
Both Chip Kelly and Doug Peterson got exposed early in their coaching tenure.
They won a Super Bowl. How did Doug get exposed early? He won a Super Bowl in his second year.
Timeout. After the Super Bowl, Doug Peterson got exposed because of the predictability of his offense. Chip Kelly got exposed because he exhausted the players offensively with that no huddle system. It was easy to figure out from a defensive standpoint. That's why they failed. He was
10-6. I mean, that's really not failing as a coach.
So Chip Kelly in the first 2 years, went 10-6. That's fine and dandy because nobody was able to keep up with his no huddle. Insert 2015 when he had Sam Bradford and that defense was a mess. The league figured Chip Kelly out. That's why he went 10-6. He was figured out, and Chip Kelly didn't make any necessary adjustments. Neither did Doug Peterson. That's why he went out the door. And, aside from other factors that went into that, the quarterback collapsed for Doug. But, we've been irritated for how many years with Doug's offense on how predictable it is when he doesn't use Miles Sanders or the run game is not efficient in certain situations. And yeah, part of that has to do with the front office too, with how Jeffrey Lurie is as an owner, always wanting a high-powered offense with the passing game and everything, but stuff like that. But no, Peterson and Chip Kelly eventually got exposed because they weren't accepting that they had to change some of their philosophies, from an offensive standpoint.
My opinion, Chip Kelly and Doug Peterson are not in Philadelphia for a very similar reason, and that's because of who they were off of the field. Doug Peterson was still winning games. Any other team, last year obviously was a total meltdown, but no other team would probably have fired Doug Peterson after that season. And realistically, even Howie Roseman said, even Jeffrey Lurie said he did not deserve to be fired. He did not really deserve to get fired. It was a terrible year. I'll give you that. His offense, yes, it needed to pick up. But I think, and I could be just assuming this right now, but I'm pretty sure that had a lot to do with Howie and all these guys. Because, I mean, he was not the only one that was upset. Now, as far as Chip literally got kicked out of here because of how he was treating players and his GM antics. That's literally what got him kicked out of here. Like, he might not have been in – retrospect, yes, that offense was ridiculous. The defense obviously made a total 180 once he left because they weren't on the field for 5 hours a day. But my thing was with Chip was if he would have stood as a coach or if he would have stood as an offensive coordinator, it would have been interesting to see where his career went. But once we gave him that GM power, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. Nobody wanted to be around him. And I think that has a lot to do with how Doug why we got rid of Doug, because he probably wanted that power. After he won a Super Bowl, he probably deserved that power. These coaches were not his guys. A lot of these players were not his guys. Like, after you win a Super Bowl, you think that things would change. And I understand why our organization wouldn't want to give that to Doug, but I can't pull myself to be like, Doug sucked. Doug was a terrible coach. He deserved
power struggle.
He had a bad year, and I will say that 100%. It was a terrible year for everybody, but I don't think he got exposed. I think just everything went bad. Like, between the injuries
and players. Garrett lasted longer in Dallas than Doug Peterson did, and Doug won a fucking Super Bowl. Like, how does Jason Garrett get 9 years in Dallas and have almost all losing seasons, but you can fire Doug after 3 years of winning a Super Bowl?
That all has to do with Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones. Jason Garrett was like a son to Jerry. So it's a lot. Sometimes it's really really hard to cut those ties when you have a very a long bond, when he not only just a coach, but he was a Cowboy as a player too. So they definitely go way back.
The Eagles make their decisions based off emotion and like family discussions. Like, that's literally how we make our decisions. Like, I cannot. Okay, Chip Kelly, I will tell you, if you want to say he was trash, I'll take that because he was. I don't like the guy, but I just think that there was a separation of Chip Kelly as a coach and as a GM. You know what I'm saying? But
that's
with Doug, with Doug, it was just like Doug, like literally, he just gave up. Like he just was like, y'all don't want to rock with me, y'all don't want to take my advice, then F y'all, I'm out, whatever. Like get rid of me, dead ass. Like that's how I felt, because he literally, you saw the change after he was like, yeah, no, those are my coaches, they're coming back, and they got fired the next day. Doug Peterson was never the same after that. You cannot ignore the amount of injuries that he had. I 100%
agree with you. I 100%.
You can't ignore everything that happened around him.
In 2017, after that we won, when he came back in 2018, you could see a whole different demeanor in his face. His attitude changed. Like, you saw everything change in him. He wasn't smiling much anymore. He wasn't joking with the media. Just everything changed for him.
That's why I said you can go back and look at my content and after the Bengals game, after we tied the Bengals this past year. You can go back on my content and you can look and I really do think that as much as we enjoyed it, as good as it was for the franchise and everything, for Doug Peterson's for his coaching career, winning a Super Bowl that early on was not the greatest thing, because I think his ego got in the way after that. Like you said, he wanted more power. You know, he
I don't think that's an ego. I think that's a fair thing to ask. Realistically, I mean,
it is.
You went out there and won us the Super Bowl after we thought that after Chip Kelly we were out down and bad for 5-6 years.
Right.
Like I don't think people really give that enough credit. Doug Peterson came in here and changed our culture with not that many new players. So when he asks, "Let me get some new players," I think that we should listen. I think we should have listened.
Yeah. So
but when you try to run the offense yourself without any offensive coordinator,
yes,
and you think you're able to call plays at a high level when you haven't proven so yet.
But was that him or Howie? Because Howie fired both of his guys, and then the decision became we'll just do it. We'll do it by committee. Who are we really blaming here?
This stems back prior to 2019, though. I mean, we were asking ourselves the same questions in 2018 and through the 2019 season. It just didn't seem that Doug wasn't making the necessary changes offensively. Here, we're blowing 17-0 leads to the Panthers. We're losing games that we shouldn't have lost because he was just inconsistent. He didn't make first half adjustments and stuff like that. His offense at times was too easy to figure out. That's where, you know, when I said exposure, I was talking about from an offensive standpoint. That's a similarity that both him and Chip Kelly share. The NFL figured them two out from an offensive standpoint. And, you know, that's one thing that's not going to allow you to last in the NFL, especially when you're a head coach that's a play caller. So, I mean, these stemmed even before Doug Peterson's guys got fired.
I just feel like how we can say that he didn't use the players. What players did he have? Like that's my thing too.
That's fine.
Are you saying that, Castro? Are you saying that Howie had something to do with there not being an offensive coordinator last year?
I think, yeah, I do. I think that decision was made after he fired the guys that obviously Doug wanted, or Doug is just a complete liar and just went on there and said whatever. I mean, like, how would you feel? How would you, like, realistically, how would you feel if you knew, all right, you and Lindy have a business together, and you're saying to somebody or whatever, like, you're in a business, you have a boss, you go to your boss, and you're like, listen, me and Lindy just got you the highest achievement that you can get. I want to rock with him. I know that it was a tough season last year, but give me one more chance with my guy. I want to rock with my guy. How would that really make you feel if he's like, nah, we're good? Yeah, like, that's grim, bro. That's grim.
Did Howie have that God complex?
He moved on to the Colts and took the head coching position.
I'm not talking about Frank Reich. I'm not talking about Frank Reich. I'm talking about when he went out and said, what's their names? What's the freaking guys' names?
Well, that's
when he came out and literally said, I'm not talking about Frank Reich. I'm talking about literally the guys that just got fired, not the guys that I can't.
So Marty Morningwig and Rich Scangarello.
Was those the guys that he said he wanted back? I can't remember the exact.
No, he wanted Mike Rowe and Corey Underlin back.
There we go. So he either way, the end story, the end game that I'm saying is he put his neck on the line for two people that he wanted in his staff. We did not draft any of these guys for him. We didn't. As much as we talk junk about how much Howie just has not helped this team in drafting, I don't understand why that's not like something we have to realize that a coach has to go through. Like, once we did in 2017 get him some players, what happened? We won a Super Bowl, right? I feel like 2017 we saw what Doug could be, and then it totally changed once there was decisions made that you could tell Doug was not cool with. So, I mean, I'm not saying Doug's right for it. I'm not saying, you should give up in that situation. But, I mean, the problem's still here. I think that's like, everybody knows that Howie's had like a good offseason. We're doing decent. But Howie's still a problem. Like, he's the reason why a lot of these people don't want to be here. Like, I think
I agree with you on that.
That's maybe getting swept under the rug a little bit because we're happy about the offseason. But
right. I just look at 2020 season as Doug kind of as him taking it as like taking it personal, trying to prove to the world that he can call plays at a high level in the NFL, and it failed. It failed miserably. No, and
I just don't put it on. I really don't put it on Doug. I think it was everybody on this team sucked. Like
if
from
you guys
Carson
want
on
to, if you
no, I
guys
agree.
want to
Howie's
follow
done a
me on
terrific
this
job
one,
giving talent.
if you guys want to follow me on this one too, I think this even stems back as far as 2016, and here's why. 2016 was the first year for Doug and Carson Wentz as a tandem, between head coach and quarterback. Okay, 2017 comes around. The Eagles front office wanted to fire Frank Reich as the offensive coordinator. They wanted to get rid of him. Doug Peterson vouched for him, saying to give him another chance, that I believe in this guy, and you got to give him one more year. So the front office bought into it, and we got a Super Bowl out of it. So is there something there in terms of like an envious decision from the front office that Doug Peterson ends up being proven right, that Frank Reich was the right offensive coordinator to have to carry into that Super Bowl year, and then that's what ensued, somewhat of a power struggle, because they didn't want to give Doug Peterson that much of a high horse when guys like Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie still wanted to be proven right in their own way. I don't know.
Yeah, the problem's still here. We've had a good off season. I'm very happy. I'm very excited about the future of this team. But Howie's still an issue. Like that's the thing. Like I haven't been pushing the fire Howie shirts in a while, but the emotion's still there. I mean, he's not.
I need one of those, by the way.
I
need a fire Howie shirt.
He's not out of the woods at all.
Because Doug got Frank Reich a head coaching position by wanting to keep him for that year. So I mean,
not only that, but we don't win a Super Bowl without Frank. Is when Carson goes down, not every offensive coordinator is going to be able to adjust that offense to Nick Foles and to get that production out of him. So
that's the thing, we don't know.
And let's be honest too, man. Not every offensive coordinator is ballsy enough to throw 500 on Tom Brady. Like that was ballsy.
Yeah. My thing is we waited a year too late on everything, and it threw us back too. And the reason I say that is because after the 2017 season, if you could not tell that your defensive coordinator probably had to go, we did a lot of thank you stuff. We did a lot of we appreciate you. Thank you for this. We'll keep you a little bit longer. We gave a lot of people a leash. I think that Doug did not deserve to get fired. I think it was just one of those things that we had to turn everything over. And we did, except for one thing, and that's who we do. It's Howie. So Howie can put a cloud in front of him. If he continues to make good decisions, I'm going to continue to shut up about it. But I know there's going to be a situation that he's going to go up to the wrong guy, whether it be Lane Johnson again, whether it be a new guy, and he's going to say the wrong thing, and something's going to happen because it's just been the MO. It's been what's been happening for the past 4 years. So until that is not happening, I'm just gonna wait for it to happen. That's and what happens when Nick Sirianni is to your point, Lindy, what happens when Nick Sirianni's proven right, when he has some guys that really prove, because this is all his guys. Coaching staff wise, especially at defense, a lot of the guys on offense, most of these guys are his guys. He's either worked with them or, he has some type of connection to them. And you can even go as deep as the players. So it's like, what happens then? And I hate to be that pessimist fan, you know what I'm saying? But it's in the back of my mind. Like, what happens then? What if we do get a little bit of success? You showed that you can't really handle it. So I'm nervous, but hopefully it's a new norm. I know I just went on a rant, but I'm hoping it's a new norm.
I guess it's just going to have to do with the strength of connection with with the combination of this coaching staff. If you think about it, and it's going to be hard to turn down a promotion, but if these guys get in a situation to where Sirianni talks to some of these guys and based on success, they'd be like, hey, well, this team wants to bring me in as a head coach or for a promoted position, man. It's like, are you going to be okay with me departing? And they're going to have those kinds of conversations. Or it could be the other way around. If the team isn't successful, or or because Philly is so big into analytics, maybe the front office ends up taking a deep dive into some of these, positional coaches and saying, well, he didn't do enough of this, and he wasn't good in this, and sorry, Sirianni, but we don't feel that this is a guy that you need to keep, and we want to get rid of him and stuff like that. And they may not even give him the choice to have an opinion to do so. Just like we just got done talking about, they wanted to get rid of Frank Reich after one season of being an offensive coordinator, and the team wasn't even that bad. They finished 7-9. There was growing pains there, and they still wanted to fire a coordinator. So yeah, I mean, that is a possible reality that this may happen to some of Sirianni's guys on this coaching staff.
Yeah, and I remember, I forget who exactly it was. I want to say it was Hollis Thomas that was telling Brandon that he was talking to us. He was just basically saying that these guys went in there and apologized. And when I mean these guys, I mean the leaders of this defense, the leaders of this team apologized to a lot of these second-year players before when it all started. And they went in there and was like, this is not how the Eagles are run. This is not how we do things. So they apologized for how the organization was ran yet last year. Yeah. So there was obvious, turmoil to say the least, I think, so it's hard for me to really think that Doug was the reason, just because Doug is just like, I don't know, man. He's just like, he's a softie. I think that was more of the problem than him being, a jerk.
I'm not saying I'm not at all saying he was the main reason. I'm just saying he did not, with his decision. I think it was his decision not to bring on an offensive coordinator, and that did not help that, and that made us even more trash than
I agree.
We would have been. Yeah.
I agree. I think
how many press conferences did Doug have where he was like, the guys in the media would ask him, "Did you ever consider bringing in a coordinator?" And he just flat out say, "No, I'm the play caller.
Yeah,
I'm the play caller."
I think it was an anger. I really do. Like, maybe I'm petty and maybe it's just me, but hey, I think it's him just being like, "Man, F this guy." Then all right, I do think that at that point it was his decision to be like, "No, we're not bringing the coordinator. I got it. Then you don't want to go with my guys. F your guys. I don't want your guys." Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm petty. I'm very petty. I will tell you that right now. But so maybe he's a grown man and didn't think like that. But me, you put me in that situation after all I did for you, bro, you could kiss my butt. You're not bringing nobody in. Nobody. I don't like none of these guys. How about that? That's how it felt. It really felt like he was just like, I don't like none of them. How about that? Now we don't got no OC. How does that feel? I really feel like he just said F it. Like, I've never seen it. Like, he does have fault in getting fired. I'm not sitting here and saying he's abstained from fault, but damn, I've never seen an organization just like.
Hey, it's really all
that atmosphere is terrible, dude.
With Sirianni, it's all going to boil down to whether he can call plays, because if he can call plays, we're going to be successful. I really do think so. That's what it boils down to.
I do like him having Steichen though from the Chargers. I think that's a nice combination there.
Of course.
I love our coaching. I love our coaching staff for opposite reasons of why I loved our coaching staff when Doug came here. Like, when Doug came here, he got a head coach as his DC. He had a head coach as his offensive coordinator. He had a head coach as his quarterback. Like, he was laced with, obviously I'm over exaggerating on some of these guys, but he was laced with talented, experienced coaches, and you could tell that helped him. Now, I love this because these are probably the exact opposite. They have experience, don't get me wrong. They have plenty of experience, but they have that youth. They have that connectability. They have that, something different that we haven't had in a long time since, honestly, Andy. Like, Andy, when he first came in here, he connected to everybody. Everybody loved him. Like, he was that dude. So it's like you finally kind of have that back. You really didn't even have, you obviously didn't have that with Chip. Chip was never that I love you, we're all family type guy. You had that a little bit with Doug Peterson, but it didn't feel authentic, and I feel like it fell off really quickly once people started losing. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything looks good when you win.
Years.
Yeah, once you start losing, that's when you see what the culture really is. And like with Andy, we went through some rough seasons, but we came right back because we had a good culture. We didn't have that with these past.
It was that kind of forced on family inherited love.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because Doug Peterson was from Andy Reid's tree and things like that. It was I totally feel what you're saying, Castro. Definitely.
Yeah. So I mean, if we get back to that, I want to be optimistic about, and I am. I'm cautiously optimistic. I have us anywhere between like 6 and 9 wins, but I hope that they prove me wrong.
Yeah,
So,
just like you were saying with some former head coaches at other positions. Like I remember, like you couldn't tell Jim Schwartz anything about his defense. It was his way or the highway, man. Like, phew, golly. I don't even think like Matt Burke was a. I don't even think Matt Burke was a Doug Peterson guy. Like he was a Jim Schwartz guy. When you talk about Doug not getting some of his guys in, like what? like really, this should be more of Doug Peterson's decision. Like, what are y'all doing? Like,
and I don't even think Jim was
too many stuck up. There was too many stuck up guys on this coaching staff, man. Jim Schwartz was.
Now that's my question, though, because Doug wasn't able to bring in his own guys. Do you think that was the demise of developing players?
I don't think it was I don't think development. I think it was just the relationship. I don't think it was like. I think it was just because their relationship. I think the main thing was their relationship. I think they just did not rock with nobody. Yeah, and nobody knew who was cooking. That was the thing with me. It's like I needed somebody to blame. As petty and small as that might sound, I need to know who to blame because Lindy, you know I love you, bro. You know that. So me and you are sitting here arguing over who's to blame. They're both to blame, and we can't really prove who really had the final say in a lot of this stuff. So it's like, who knows? Yeah, who knows what? Yeah, Doug does, but they all did. It's like I just don't get it. I just don't know who said what. What was the final straw? We need a 30 for 30 about this Philadelphia Eagles season.
And no lie, man. That's why I wish Carson wasn't on this
struggle.
team anymore. He'd just come out and tell us what really happened. He's on this team. Carson, spill the beans. We don't care. Just tell us what happened.
Carson was exactly what was wrong, and not him personally, but the situation. That was exactly what was wrong with these Eagles for the past year or two. Nobody wanted to say ish. Nobody. No, and I'm not saying him individually. I'm saying how he handled that. So that's how the Philadelphia Eagles have been handling the situation for the past 2 years, being upset and behind closed doors. Say what the hell's wrong. And I'm not saying say it to us. Don't call me. I don't care about that. But tell your coach you're pissed. Like, tell your team you don't want to be there. Tell your fans this is what's going on with me, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, too many times people are just upset and then they leave and they're dropping little, oh, well, F this guy, little side comments. Like, bro, like, what? Why? What? I understand we weren't having the best of years, but like, what happened? So I mean,
too many guys using Charmin Ultra Soft.
Seriously, bro. Seriously. And look, I don't.
That expectation bar with him going out in the Super Bowl year and then us winning the Super Bowl, he couldn't. Number 2 for the Colts, he couldn't step up to that. He couldn't handle that pressure. He's not wired for that. He's not wired to handle. This fan base is already very demanding as it is. And then when you give us our first ring, and then that's what we expect, and you're not able to produce that or even get close, that pressure is going to get even. It's just going to matter.
This is the same man. That's the same man that even admitted it on an interview in the Pat McAfee show, talking about that that kind of culture in Philadelphia isn't for everybody, and he admitted at times that that he felt out of place in that regard. Shout out to Philly Foothills because we're wearing the same shirt right now. But how does that happen? Yeah, we all in this underdog mentality. It's coming back. But like, when people want to try and trash on Nick Sirianni right now, let's just remember one thing. At least this man isn't talking about biting people's kneecaps off. Like, stop it. The head coach for the Lions, he's like, oh, let's bring in an actual lion to practices and everything. Get these guys pumped up. Like, come on, they're not going to a zoo. They're practicing football, man. Get out of here.
Imagine going to practice and you hear like, rah, I'm out. I'm not staying at that practice.
No, bro. You're going to hear it at the end of the day one of these days.
Speakers. Come on.
Imagine your agent calling you like, yo, Joe, why'd you walk out on practice, bro? There was a lion. Like,
Yo, you're gonna
What do
hear
you
one of
mean?
these days.
Why did I walk out of
Detroit's
practice?
gonna-
Why did they
Detroit's
have
gonna have it
practice?
in-
There's
Yeah, they're
obviously a
gonna have it in
lion
the
loose.
paper that Detroit lost 5 players due to them being eaten.
I'm not going to the Lions game. If they're gonna have a lion just chilling, Detroit's ghetto enough. Detroit is scary enough without lions running around. Nobody need no lions running around Detroit.
That's going to be they're going to have to add a letter to the injury report. They're going to have to add an E for Eaton.
Yeah,
Right?
Big facts, bro. Yeah, that's weird. I mean, look, this is what youth looks like, I guess, right? This is what a change looks like. We're none of us are spring chickens, so I'm sure this isn't the first time we've seen a major shift in the Philadelphia Eagles. Hey, look, I'm excited. I'm nervous, but it's football.
I've been
right?
through 4. I've been through 4
through
coaches.
too many.
Well, to be fair, I am the youngest on this panel right now, but yeah.
How old are you?
I'll be 28 next month.
Oh, damn, yeah. I ain't that far, though. I ain't that far.
Damn,
I
y'all just made me feel
30.
old because now that makes me the second oldest person. Like,
I stopped at
screw you
30.
both.
It's messy. Yeah,
That makes me the senior in here. Then.
Right.
gotta hit those cryogenic chambers.
Facts. Black don't crack, so I'm good. I'm gonna look.
So,
I'm gonna look
so
28.
for your first podcast here for Eagles Uncensored, man, we reached almost 2 hours. I guess we're kicking ass here for our guy, fellas. You know,
That's how it's supposed to go.
got some got some interaction and chat and everything. I mean, man, shout out to everybody here.
My first live, I think it was me, Brandon talking, and there was probably like 1 or 2 people in the chat, if that. There was maybe like 1 or 2 comments. It was the most boring experience of my life, but it was a grind. The first couple lives sucked, but after that, I'm telling you, man, just stay consistent. Just keep grinding, bro. You already know.
Oh, for sure.
Dude,
I got so much stuff to get off my chest. I got 20 years of Eagle shit to get off my chest. You have no idea.
Well, you got the perfect spot to do it, brother.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I think I had a big fat 0 in live viewers for my first stream of 55 minutes. I might as well have turned it into a recording, but yeah, we all had these humble beginnings, man. You gotta start somewhere, but it's just keeping yourself on the platform so people can recognize your work and what you're doing, like the type of dedication that you continue to possess to do something that you love to do. That's most important.
Facts.
For sure. And
my biggest piece of go ahead actually for us because mine wasn't a piece of advice. I was gonna be stupid. So you were gonna say something good. I was just gonna make a joke, but
I was just gonna say, definitely don't be nervous. Be yourself. Try to really just speak from the heart, and just give it time. It'll definitely get easier and easier as you do it. So just I'm just glad to have another strong, smart, full of football knowledge guy on our Eagles community, just to add another ace to the deck. So we're good, man. Glad to have you on.
man.
I got another one.
In all honesty, man, my podcast, I just want to let you guys know, and for everyone who's going to watch, I pretty much created this to let everyone come on because I want to do live streams, man. I'm not one to do recordings, and post them. Like I want to do live call-ins all the time. I love talking, meeting new people all the time. What is that? Oh, Manscaped? Is that your Manscaped stuff? I saw that. Yeah. Bringing out the Manscaped in the middle of my speech. Are you serious?
Have your balls thank you lately?
Make sure the field's stripped before she comes out to play.
Castro, did you consider a collaboration commercial with LB?
Right?
I think that'd be good. I think that'd be good advertisement.
That would be they would have to pay us separately for that. That's a little bit too much. Yeah. You can't have 2 heavy hitters on there.
Come in here and be real. Just if you're pissed, dude, let it out. That's why I called it uncensored. Like if you got to say 20 F words, go ahead. As an Eagles fan, we've had the highest highs and we've had the lowest lows. So there is nothing that we wouldn't understand. You know,
So I got one more thing for you, Uncensored. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid of hot takes. I'll just say that. Don't be afraid of hot takes so long as they have some legitimacy and they're relevant. So don't be afraid to put hot takes out there, because even those, they're going to get people talking, and they're going to get people debating, whether it's with you in a stream or in comments, whatever kind of content you bring to your channel. Don't be afraid of hot takes, because those bring extra engagement. Those get people talking, because it's like if you go like if and I think this is fair to speak for every other content creator. If we follow a similar system, it's just you're just going to remove the unique substance that multiple channels have amongst each other. So like anything that's going to attract something different for people to talk about, yeah, don't be afraid of hot takes, because you'd be surprised on how much attention you could get from those. Positive.
Hey man, I'm honestly not that worried, bro, because I'll be honest, fuck all 31 other teams, man. I got the best fucking supporting cast there is in this fucking NFL. There is nothing like Eagle fans, there's nothing like Eagle creators. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say it. Fuck them all, dude. Like, we're the best. We support each other. We have each other's backs.
100.
That's why you see 3 Eagles kicking the shit out of one Dallas guy at an Eagles game. No, just playing. Anyway, but in all honesty, though, man, you guys are awesome. You made this possible for me today. You got me to 10 likes. All these people. You don't see that anywhere else. So.
Hey,
It's just an amazing feeling to have support. You have no idea.
my pleasure, man. It's my pleasure, definitely.
Yeah, you got to think of an outro now. You got to think of a way to say bye to people.
Right?
Yeah, there you go. I even had
I
to
thought of
think
my
about bringing my
intro, but I
slogan
never
back
thought of
here.
my
It's working.
outro. That's it. I should have done that.
It's got to be something that just comes natural. Because I'm telling you, like, that's how all my stuff. It's just like with stuff I said, people made fun of me because I said it. Like the Philly fresco. Like I said that as a joke in one of my lives, and my roommate overheard it, and he was like, "Who the hell is Philly Fresco?" And I was like, "Now it's me. Now it is I.
You
I
just
am
gave
Philly
it to me.
Fresco. Yeah, I am Philly Fresco."
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just like Lenny said, just don't be afraid to try to be original. Definitely, there's a lot of us on here who a lot of the same information gets regurgitated and things like that. So just obviously, if you're gonna do live streams and things like that, that's cool, man. That'll be really fun to jump on these with you more and more you do them. So yeah, just keep doing your
I
thing.
just feel you can get closer to people doing live streams. It's a lot harder to communicate in the chat and do it, solo. I just feel whenever I can do all these call-ins, I can learn everyone. I can, you feel their emotion too when you do it. It's a lot easier to hear it than it is to read it. Because honestly, every time I read something other than positive things, everything sounds pissed off to me in text. Like, I don't know about you guys, but have you noticed that? Like, a lot of times when you read things, it's always something more than what it is. So
yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to use videos though, because in our everyday lives and how busy our schedules get, not everybody is going to have not everybody's going to have the opportunity to participate in streams and everything. And like for example, when I'm at work, because I do 10-hour first shift 4 days a week, okay? But when I'm at work, that's the time where I'll throw in a pair of earbuds and everything, and while I'm working, I'll pay attention to some podcasts, and I'll make sure that I listen to everybody, because I don't need to necessarily watch the video. I just need to listen to like the type of opinions that they're bringing out, like what's going on currently and stuff like that. So yeah, as like what Joey Shakes is saying, with being yourself and pumping out videos, that's an extra element of engagement that you need to keep in mind. while people are working around your schedule with what you're doing, it has to, at some point, that has to be reciprocated, back to the viewership and back to the subscribers. It's like a collaborative effort, in terms of giving them variety to work off of. There's nothing wrong with somebody's approach to their channel, because they're going to do them at the end of the day. But I guess it's putting yourself more abroad to a bigger viewer base. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Facts, but I do got to get off of here, fellas.
Yeah.
But I appreciate y'all letting me on, man. This was a lot of fun. We got to do this again.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
we might as well shout ourselves out and everything. So let's give it up for one of the newest content creators in the building for his podcast, the Eagles Uncensored podcast. Let's give him a shout out here and congratulate him and being a part of the Eagles content creator community. For the amount of time that he has participated in, whether it was streams or dropping comments and videos, that there's a benefit to that. And us as content creators, let's remember at the end of the day that even though we're trying to keep up with our image, our image impacts inspiration for others to want to do the same thing. So there's a responsibility there in us being as real but professional as possible, to allow guys like AK Eagles to bring up his podcast, or whether it's Big Play Slay with his channel or Jordy with his podcasts, guys that I'm bringing out here, that we rely on each other, we rely on each other's success at the end of the day, I guess, because we're a part of the same family of content creation. So yeah, man, shout yourselves out. Let's close out first successful stream for this guy here.
Definitely.
Yeah, shout out to y'all. I don't want to shout out myself. Shout out to y'all. We the future of Eagles media. No, I'm just kidding. But this was fun. I had a lot of fun, man.
Sorry, the beginning I was skipping all over, man. I wish I could have been in.
Hey, it gets better as you go. Trust me.
Yeah,
it gets better as you go.
Absolutely. Hey, AK, I have to know real quick: is your name inspired by like AK-47, or is it poker? Is it Ace King?
I lived in Alaska for 10 years.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I've been to Alaska.
AK's for Alaska.
I've been to Alaska a few times myself. It's really beautiful up there.
Where'd you go?
I've been to Juneau. I've been to Anchorage. I've been to Sitka a couple times. Most recently, I went to Sitka and I went to one of the dog sledding places and got to go.
Oh, yeah.
Hold the puppies and the Alaskan Husky puppies. So it was really, really cool. It was beautiful up there.
I lived in Kenai on the Kenai Peninsula, 2 hours south of Anchorage there.
Okay.
Right above Homer.
Wow.
Alaska.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. So yeah, I mean, come check me out. Nest Out West, Philly Foothills. I'm always putting out content. I'm about to probably go put out another video or something like that right now too while I'm here. So I'm just come check me out. Make sure you go like and subscribe to all these guys that have been on here if you haven't already. We all put in that work. We all need to pay it forward. So just make sure you do so. And I mean, it's been a blast. I was glad to be a part of it.
Yes, sir. We'll do it again soon.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, and like I said, Joe, you started all this for me, man. It's your fault. My wife blames you.
Yeah, man. I'm glad, man. I'm glad. That's
I loved watching your content, man. Like, you kill it. You're great with your content creation. You're great with everything that you do, and I just hope I can even emulate that just a little bit,
I appreciate it. Well, you already know, bro. Like I said in the DMs, if you need any help, you just holler at me, bro. You've been rocking with me for a minute, so anything you need, bro, I got you.
You know what, man? We finally hit 2 hours pretty much, and I appreciate you guys hanging in with me even through all that stutter and Stanley shit. But you guys were the biggest inspiration to me. And I left some guys out too, like Joey Chase. He told me he was going to stop in today. I appreciate you stopping in, dude. Seriously, like that
Man,
means the
word.
world to me. I watch you all the time, dude. And Philly 500, watch you. Tone, all you guys, man. Y'all you're great, So I can't wait to meet more of you for sure. Like,
Facts.
there's so many, dude, Joe. There's so many times I wanted to get on and talk with you, dude. Like, we're gonna have to do so many streams because there's shit I got to get off my chest, dude.
Let's do it, man.
And
I'm ready.
Foothills, no lie, man. You too, man. We haven't got the chance to chat it up, but someday soon, for real, we'll do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, hit me up. I'll have you on my channel too. Yeah, we'll definitely. This is just the first of many to come for sure.
Yeah, look at that. These man's got conga lines of collaborations, wanting to happen here. Look at that, man. Yeah, it's like going to the deli. Take a number here. Who's next in line? But yeah, man, this was a hell of a time once again, y'all. But obviously, for y'all don't know what I do, man. If you're looking for one of the most diverse fandoms in the Eagles content community, then check me out. Lindy Endzone here for the touchdown. I'm playing 2 different sports, taking the lead for the Eagles, 1 video at a time, and dropping some buckets for my Dallas Mavericks. Yeah, it's weird, I know, but if you're into that, man, check me out as well, both on Twitter and YouTube. We got Game 7 tomorrow for Dallas, and yeah, man, we got a wasn't a good experience yesterday, but man, we got to take care of that.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'm looking forward to the playoffs to see who's going to lose to the Nets in the finals. That's really, really exciting to watch.
Go Sixers. Go Sixers, baby.
Yeah, Sixers for sure. Let's get it.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you all for joining in to the Eagles Uncensored podcast. I appreciate it. Everyone who came out today and supported me, everyone who's, sent tweets, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Mitch, thank you for being on here, man. That meant a lot too. But I'm going to go to bed so I can go to work tonight.
That must have been a really Mitch's haircut must have been the longest haircut in history because he said he was going to come back on.
He's getting them all cut.
Right?
He might have fell asleep in that chair, dude. You might want to go wake him up.
He probably did. All right, guys.
But, hey, this has been Philly the podcast, Philly Foothills, and Lindy Endzone and Eagles Uncensored. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. I've said my piece. I've counted to 3. Stay green. And we out.
All right, later, y'all.
Peace.